Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Chris Wood here, October 27th, 2022. I'm just sitting here hanging out, having a mocha actually. Tastes good. How's everyone doing? Anyway, the reason I came on here was to say that everything that's been going on with me is done because I've been having to write stuff down. I have no feeling left in my head whatsoever. I have absolutely no stimulation in my head. I have no feeling in my face. I've been getting it feels like there's air being pumped through my head, and it feels like there's a balloon inside me and it's blowing my head up. It's been like that on and off all day long. And this is from being broadcasted through from remote neural monitoring and other shit that I have in me. Compliments of OPP, Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police, but what remote neural monitoring is police and military tech. It is a nano microchip implant. It is designed to destroy a person's central nervous system on them. Even when I'm doing this right now, I'm having trouble breathing because I only have one lung. It actually feels like I'm having all kinds of kidney problems today. Serious kidney problems. Not to be so graphic, but when I do go to the bathroom, there is lots and a lot of blood. I'm not going to show it because that would be kind of gross, but there's been lots of blood today, and I can't do a damn thing about it. For the simple reason is because who is being done to, who is being done from. I am the victim of identity theft. I am the victim of injuring, torturing, skull split, brain injuring, body mutilations, lies, cover ups, time buying, arrest refusals, medical blacklisting to prevent me help for the course of 3 years, being falsely charged to prevent me medical attention, to get me medical attention, and also was to, in an attempt to give me a record to criminalize me, to deflect the crimes against me from Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police, Spencer Mills, 14716, Staff Sergeants, ex-Chief, Shannon Cork, Robert King, Robert Lucas, the doctors at Lennox and Addington County General Hospital, Dr. Tatiana V, Stacy's girlfriend, oh yeah, that's who I forgot, Stacy, a mental health worker, was Napanee Daily Tea Company in now Kingston, and there's also a Shelley Huffner. And this is a revenge crime on me for speaking of police crimes here in Napanee. This started out of the Morning Star mission since 2019. The human homeless trafficking and, wow, the homeless exploitation for monetary gain and other crimes. And as a result, I became a victim. I went to mental health. I talked to a woman there named Stacy, who I just mentioned. I went there to talk to her about a woman named Tracy, a woman here in Napanee who was a patient of theirs, and she was causing trouble. So I actually went there because of her being a patient, and I went to try to get her help. so she wasn't causing shit for anybody or anybody else. And next thing you know, Stacy starts saying, "I know you." I still do not know what that means because no, she don't. And she started making accusations, and I got up and walked out on her. And then the next day, I was sitting outside of my previous address, and a guy named, well, Pastor Deacon David Smith, whatever he is, he came by and he brought me food. He delivered me my lunch. Okay, well, cool. 2 minutes later, maybe five, Spencer Mills shows up at my door. He pulls into my driveway, him and a guy from mental health, to basically threaten me, intimidate me, to let me know that if I did not stop talking about what was taking place out of the Morning Star mission and other crimes, there would be serious consequences. And he was 100% right. Then it was not too shortly after that, it was in August of 2019, approximately 3 p.m. I was sitting outside my previous address again, and next thing you know, ex-OPP chief went by in a white Jeep Wrangler. He waved at me. I waved back. A black truck pulled up beside him. It was at the lights on the corner of Center and Bridge. A black truck pulled up beside him. The person had black hair too. And they pointed something at me and they shot it. When they shot it, it went into my right ear. That is when all my medical problems and everything else started. Wondering what had happened, I went to the doctors, I went to the hospital to find out what was taking place, like what was going on, because I was starting to get burning and everything else. It was going, after that was shot in my ear, it started to move down my neck and into the top of my head right here to my parietal lobe. So I went to the hospital and they finally arranged for a CAT scan in November of 2019. I went to it. My mother was with me at the time, she was alive, and someone else. I go to my CAT scan appointments, and next thing you know, Stacy, the woman from mental health, walks right by us. Okay, why the fuck's she there? So I go in to get my CAT scan done. I go in to get it done, and next thing you know, the doctor, Tatiana, actually found out later that is Stacy's girlfriend, but Tatiana was going by the name Marky B, but she actually afterwards started saying, "Well, you need medication, you need this and that, and everything else." Well, what the hell is that based on? Because I had not been to a hospital or a doctor in any way, shape, or form in approximately 7 to 10 years prior to this. And then, okay, I wanted copies of my CAT scan, and I was told that I would not understand them, and I was refused them. I went then to another hospital in Kingston, Kingston General Hospital, to try to find out what was going on to get help. And they mysteriously got a call from somebody stating that I was suicidal. Really, I am not suicidal in any way, shape, or form. I am life. I am about life, and that was total bullshit lie, and it was done to prevent me from getting help and to prevent me from finding out exactly what was taking place with me at the time, because it was early on. I left, I come home, I ended up going back to, and then I ended up going to Belleville General Hospital. And there was a French guy working, and I went in there and seen him, and he walks in and he's looking, "Okay, Mr. Wood, I seen your file. What do you expect me to do for you? Okay, what are you going on again? What are you basing this on? You're not going to do nothing for me." So that did no good. And then I ended up coming back to Napanee many times, going to the hospital trying to get help, while being refused. while being treated like a piece of shit, while being called a retard, by being called on in fights by the doctors, by triage nurse Terry, a guy that works there, or I just was not gonna, or I just wasn't being seen. And when I was being seen, like I said, I was being belittled, I was being treated like a piece of shit. And I was expected to take that. No, I was getting up and I was walking out. And when I was walking out, they were turning it around to make it look like I was the one that was refusing the medical treatment. And that was not the case in any way, shape, or form. I am not going to be called a retard, and I'm not going to be laughed at over sex assaults and everything else by these damn doctors. Because that's exactly what they did after I was assaulted. I went there to try to get help, to let them know what was happening to me. And Dr. Barton, that works there at the time, he laughed in my face over it. I tried to even show him pictures and everything else. Well, that don't prove nothing. Didn't want to do nothing, had no interest in any way, shape, or form. And then I went there again, and Dr. Pritchard was working at the time. And he then tried to have me committed. He phoned the damn cops on me, and then he tried to have me committed, for reporting what had happened. And because who I am and because who it was done by, I have it in print, so I can prove my words. I ended up going back to Kingston General Hospital after that anyway, and they ended up getting another phone call stating about drugs and everything. 100% bullshit lie. I had long hair at the time and my tattoos, so they automatically assumed it to be true. I do not do drugs. At one point in time, I did. I had a overdose back in 2012. I'm not perfect. I used to do them. I had an overdose back in 2012 by what was called Dilaudid, which is basically synthetic heroin. And after I did it, I woke up and the paramedics were over me, and that I pretty much died. So, and I'm thankful that happened. I really truly am, because that was my wake up call right then and there. I just might not be able, I would have been gone long ago. So I am actually thankful that was my wake up call, but I have not done anything since 2012. Not that I really have to explain that, but I've been clean out of that stuff. I've had a couple slip ups, but I've been clean from it since 2012. I don't even drink. I don't buy alcohol. I used to. I used to drink a lot. I did have a serious problem at one time. I was a binge drinker. I do not drink if I'm offered a beer, but other than that, I do not buy it, and I want nothing to do with it either. I'll prefer to have my coffee and my hot chocolate, and like I said, my mocha that I'm enjoying right now. I was having stuff happen to me. My skull was being seriously deformed, and it was blowing up like a mushroom. And I have pictures of it on my Facebook. And it was blowing up pretty much like a mushroom. I went to the doctor, and there was a Dr. Waldron working there at the time. And his words to me was, he called me a retarded, said I was crazy, said that he can't fix crazy. And then he turned around and told me that I needed a head shrink, pun intended, because my head was swelled up so severely. Somewhat, yes. Winston Frost. Um, that and human trafficking that's taken place. Yeah, I love you. That's my dog Run. What a good looking pups. He's 12 years old. I do have a lot more videos, like even in my introductory video on my channel here, I even show the changes, what has taken place to it with me and everything as far as my identity theft goes, to just prove that it can and it is and does happen. And the reason why is because I am a human trafficking victim. And I'm also an identity theft victim for the for the reason of framing me because of me speaking of police crimes. This is revenge retaliation on me for doing this. But if they can do this to me, how many others have they done this to? Everything with me, my identity change and everything is pretty much done and is pretty much too late and the damages are done. But the police that people think that they know, they are the one that's doing this to me. He is allegedly Hell's Angels leader, captain, or whatever of Ontario, allegedly. He is a rat informant. He is a sex offender. He is a child stalker. And he was doing it every day here at a place called Tim Hortons, stalking children. And I come to find out that he was doing it for the ex-chief of police here in Napanee. And then come to find out that it was for pedophilia, sex slavery. Do you know exactly what it was? Because I don't. But thank you for actually verifying that you actually have seen, the differences for me to prove that really is taking place with me. Ever since this happened, ever since I was shot in the back of in my ear, I have a spot on the back of my head that has not healed in 3 years since this happened either. My head goes flat to round to it's been flattened, round, elongated, shortened, widened, and everything else like a balloon. At one time it pushes over to the left, next time it pushes over to the right, and then the different facial features. It's also being done to me from the remote neural monitoring that I got being used on me, and I have many different people who are using this on me, and they are using it to broadcast through me and over me, basically like a damn hologram. And as a result of that, I am going through my identity changes. And this is also in hopes to mentally screw me up so I'm off of my consciousness because I no longer really truly feel my own true self consciousness anymore. And that's the whole point of this. And so I'm not thinking about everything. And I've been trying to get for legal help, trying to get lawyers. And I've been stopped every step of the way from this. And there's been nothing that I can do. I even had a justice of the peace here make accusations against me, stating that I was high on marijuana and hallucinating being sodomized. This is how bad it is. The doctors here are involved. They are co-committing and they are aiding in and covering up their crimes while denying me treatment because the crimes that they're involved in, they have to keep them covered up. They had me falsely charged for wanting it happening to them under the pretense of harassment, and that was 100% bullshit. And I have also stated that that was done just to give me a record. That was in an attempt to give me a record that I never had because I had no criminal history or record prior to this. That was done just to deflect the crimes against me and also so they could get the rest of what they've needed against me for this. There is what is called the biometric system, which your prints and everything get put into. They needed it for that. They already had my blood and my urine from when they kidnapped me back in 2021, 24 hours after I asked for help against them with charging and arresting with police, with doctors, their inmate boss, and everybody else that's involved with this. I've been consistently naming names and saying whom, how, and why this has taken place with me. And it is 100% revenge. The guy that's doing this to me, the ones that are doing this to me, are seriously drug addicts, they're drug traffickers, they're highly psychotic. Not really changing me into something else, but I do have pictures where it is me. And this is another reason why I showed my tattoo on my hand and all my pictures is because of me going through these changes from when I'm being broadcasted through from the remote neuro monitoring. It is actually causing me physically facial changes. It's me, but it's not. That's the thing. And it is from all these other people that are using the R&M on me and broadcasting through me. It's me, but their facial features and everything, so to speak, is showing up as me on me. And on my Facebook, I have a Facebook page called Christwood, ChristWood. And if you go check that out, you'll also see what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to explain without it being shown, but I have shown also videos and pictures on here of it to prove it. My head has been completely, wow, right now the whole this been split straight down the middle here, and this whole one side of my face has been flattened pretty much. And because of this remote neuro monitoring, I basically have two people broadcasted through me at once on each side, basically like split brain. I get nothing but electricity constantly going through me. I have fluid going through my body, and it comes up from the back of my neck. I have what feels like a tube under my tongue now, and I get water all the time. I have something in the roof of my mouth too, and it actually tastes like piss. It tastes like urine, but it's going through here and up through my temple area into this part and around. And that's when I start getting the burning really bad, sometimes almost like I'm being hit by a laser. It's caused my teeth to be rotted out and go all gross. When I eat now, usually a person's stomach is on the left side of their body, but when I eat, all my food goes to my right. And it is basically also decaying my body as well from the inside. I've not even had as much as a stethoscope put on me since all the lies started against me since it started. I've not even had as much as a stethoscope put on me at the hospital. I went there the one time by ambulance. I thought I was almost having a heart attack. Even the ambulance driver verified that there was some serious things going on and that I needed the hospital to be checked. I go there not being able to hardly move, being shocked, and everything else. And next thing you know, they come over. Well, what do you expect us to do for you, Mr. Wood? They didn't do a damn thing. They never checked me for nothing. I basically had to crawl up that stretcher and out the door to take a taxi to come home. I went there to get emergency help. It took them 6 days before they called me to come in to get help in the emergency room, stating that they were just too busy and they couldn't call me. Bullshit. They just didn't want to because this hospital is involved in helping committing and covering up this crime against me. I had not been to a hospital or a doctor, like I said, in about 7 to 10 years prior to this. There's no history of mental illness. I'm not schizophrenic. I don't hear voices. I don't have hallucinations. I don't have delusions. I don't think I'm somebody that I'm not. So, and I'm not, I have no multiple personalities. I'm one person, but I do criminally have many trying to live through me from this bullshit that's in me that is proven, and I have proven it. And what it does to a person, the end game with me is just basically to frame me and fuck me over and get me locked up, pretty much, or to murder me, but it's pretty much done anyway. And for amusement, yeah, they are getting amusement out of me being tortured constantly on a daily basis, having my body mutilated, knowing that I can't do a damn thing about it. I've had lies against me stating that I'm self-harmer. Bullshit. I don't live alone and I haven't in a long time. So if there was signs of any kind of that, I think people would know. I think it would be kind of obvious, especially with the way they were talking about the making accusations on me. They also stated that I had a long history, psychological history and record. I've never, ever in my life been in any kind of hospital. I've never in my life dealt with any kind of damn psychiatrist. If I would have needed to, I would have sought help, but I never had to. So, and this is not going to be used as that bullshit. Not no fucking mental illness when I know exactly what has happened to me and how. The guy that's doing this, the head guy that's supposed to be the Hells Angels Ontario chapter captain or whatever he is, he's also a sex offender. He's highly delusional. He's a heroin addict. The guy, he was stalking me. He was stalking my mother and calling my mother mom. At the same time, he believes that we were switched at birth when I'm 50 years old and this friggin' idiot is in his 70s. Go figure that one out because I can't. He also thinks that he's my dad, and he thinks that he is Harry Potter, like the guy is seriously messed up on drugs and everything else. No joking. I have video of me going to the police and trying to get arrest done on them, doctors, and everybody else involved. And I have the videos right here on my channel. And being surrounded by a bunch of cops with their hands on their guns to prevent me from doing anything. He's after I was shot in the ear by the XOPP chief in the black truck. He actually came onto the scene and was stalking me constantly. Every time I would walk out my door, he was always right there. He was going by my house sometimes 12 to 15 hours a day constantly. I would go for a walk, and he was always right there, just like clockwork, knowing where I am at any given time. It seemed. I do not live in a big town, but for him to know exactly where I am and be out like that, no, not coincidence in any way, shape, or form. I have tracking on me somewhere, somehow. Maybe that's what I had shot in my ear. But every time I move, even now, right now to this day, every time I make a move outside my door, they go by me just like clockwork as soon as I step out the door. Every single fucking time. And I have no criminal history or record. So, how is that? They psychic? I doubt it. He was also having his damn mail sent to my previous address. Get up here, because I'm not going nowhere, boy. I know pop-ups. Sorry, just talking to my dog. Maybe because I knew things and I was speaking up of their crimes that they were committing, like the sex slavery trafficking and the pedophilia through the police and the financial thefts and frauds that were taking place as well. They also took insurance policy out on my mother, I found out afterwards, before she was killed back in 2020. So they were guilty. They're guilty of murdering my mother. And because of her age, I said that they were what was happening. I wasn't being believed because of her age and everything else. R&M, remote neuromonitoring, it causes radiation in the body and EMFs to go through a person. And as a result, it caused cancer in my mother. It caused tumors. And that's ultimately what killed her 2 years ago. Especially when they were stalking her also and calling my mother mom as well. And as far as anything else really goes, I have no clue. It's a game. It's a big game on me. They're all a bunch of junkies and they are all highly psychotic. And this is their way of getting revenge on me, I guess. A way to frame me as somebody else who is a sex offender that they will not touch, no matter what, no matter how much you proof or can give proof of shit happening and by whom. It's to basically mentally screw me up in hopes that I don't know, maybe in hopes that I go crazy, maybe in hopes to actually give me a mental illness that I never had because these ones have them. I really don't know. I spoke up before all of this started one time and said that the mental health system was a failure and that it needed to be overhauled and redone because there was a lot of serious problems within it. And maybe they took it, I said that maybe they took it, I said, or meant that people with mental illness or whatever, and that is not the case. I said the system, not the people. But after that, I really don't know what the fuck. To be plain and simple. Yeah, exactly why all this trouble on me. And then the lies, the cover ups, having me falsely arrested and charged to give me a criminal record in an attempt to deflect crimes. having my medical rights, my legal rights, and my human rights taken from me in the process of doing this to me every step of the way. For 3 years, it's been happening. I'm constantly numbed down, especially on my right side. This hole is this. There's nothing. The only spot I really have any feeling in my head that I can feel doing this is a spot on the back of my head. Like I said, that's been there since all of this started, and it's swelled up a little bit right now, and it actually feels like there's air or something going through it as I'm rubbing it. It does feel like that. 100% avoid. Basically nothing. There is nothing anybody can really do to avoid it happening to them. Have you heard of a thing called Havana syndrome? Have you heard about the diplomats in other countries that were being hit with electronic devices and they were being seriously injured or seriously killed, whatever the case may be, and it was causing them serious brain damages, memory losses, and everything else? Basically, almost like that. Now, I can't say it's obviously MK Ultra. I'm not gonna say that, but it's pretty much like that, where my memories are being taken from me little bits at a time, and I have to write stuff down to remember stuff. I had a 150 IQ approximately. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. So it was average. And before all of this started, I was doing good. I would meditate. I'm very spiritual. And I was meditating sometimes 7, 8 hours a day. I was going out, I was helping people, and I was doing good before all of this started. And maybe these people don't like that. I believe that they're a bunch of Satan worshiping pieces of shit. My mother knew exactly what was taking place, but you know, can't really go that route because she is now gone. And I am the last of my bloodline. I'm the end of my bloodline. So my mother's gone, and when I'm gone, my bloodline, my entire bloodline, is dead as well. And I've been trying to save myself, to save my bloodline. No. Even no matter how much you can prove stuff around here, it don't help because it's the police doing it to me. And it's all these other psychotics who are untouchable and unarrestable. I know every damn one of them that's involved, and I've been naming them because when they are using this remote neural monitoring on me, like I said, it acts like a damn hologram, and I know these people from their faces and everything from here, and their faces are actually showing up like it's right in front of mine, like it's on top of mine. Like, what the fuck? I'm not just gonna pick people out of thin air and say, well, okay, that's just no. And I'm certainly don't do it looking for attention. That's for damn sure. I don't need that kind of attention. I've been trying to do it, so I'm doing what am I going to do? I'm doing what I'm trying to do, and that's all I can do. And hope that if anything happens to me, that it will be believed that it is homicide on me and who it's from, and somebody has to pay for it. Simple as that. I even tried posting stuff on Facebook to a local group here that's in Napanee where I live, and they, you get all these remarks, you're crazy, this and that, as soon as you start talking about crimes that the police are doing, and you start talking about human trafficking, identity thefts, and all this other stuff, then people's automatically results is, oh, you need a psychiatrist, you're crazy, this and that. Maybe that's the whole point of this gang stalking bullshit is so everybody will come to that conclusion so they can say, okay, you have problems, you need to be locked up. They are gang stalking. Not try to give a perceived mental illness upon the masses who do not know what a lot of tech is and how it's being used criminally by a lot of dangerous fucking people. And they see everything I see right now. They hear everything I hear. They know that I'm doing this right now. Invasive surveillance. What a perfect way for a sex offender or a pedophile to get off, to use this kind of technology on children, to use it on men and women, and maybe they do not even realize it. And because of how it works and everything else, maybe they'll think that they are going crazy. Maybe they'll think something else is up or whatever when it's not the case. It is being done to them on purpose. And this bullshit can be activated, and I have proven it on here. How it can be activated is through cell phone, Wi Fi, and computers as well. They have apps for this sort of shit. It's called EndoChat. That is basically a dark web app that can be, it acts as a clone pretty much on a phone, and it can be deleted instantly so it can be hidden. I'm not reading out of any books in any way, shape, or form. So, no sci-fi going on. And as far as an actor goes, no. I'm definitely no actor in any way, shape, or form. Check out some of my other videos as well. And or also maybe my Facebook too, like I said, under Christwood. It's a picture of me with my long hair at the time and a gray beard. So you'll know that it's me. And I also show a lot more on there too, and about what has taken place with me and by whom. I'm not the only one that this is happening to. So, my dog also goes through things as well. He's actually, at one point in time, there was a woman here in town and she was on drugs, and I had a spare room. She needed a place to live, and it was to help her get off drugs. Well, she went out, came back, and was high on something. I don't know. I think it was meth. I don't know, but she started freaking out. Started saying that she was seeing spirits coming out of my dogs. Next thing you know, she flipped out, grabbed a knife, and started chasing me around my damn house. She chased me out of my house. I put my dogs, I had two of them at the time, I put my dogs in my room. She broke in my room and threw the meth or whatever it was in my dog's eyes and caused them to burn around them. I phoned the police that night. They wouldn't even show up. They had no concern of it happening. I had to go to somebody else's house to call them, to get them to call them because I was being chased out by a knife. What's up, Papa? What's up, my little boy? You gotta go out, don't you, soon? You gotta soon go out. This poor dog has been through a lot, undeserving. And I couldn't even, at the time when that happened, I couldn't even get help for him. So, thank you, because it is 100% truth. I would have no reason whatsoever to make any of this up. It would not benefit me in any way, shape, or form. Not publicly, not privately, not in any way wouldn't it benefit me. So, anyway, I think I am going to call this one for now. And I want to say to you, Mr. Winston Frost, I hope you have yourself a good night. I thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate you for tuning in. Yeah, I'm going to take him out. Thank you so much. Chris Wood here, love all, hate none. Share because it gets more, it gets us out more, and I do need help with this. Love all, hate none.